All right, it's 2 a.m. I went to bed at 10, laid there in bed for 3 hours, couldn't sleep at all. So I got up and started scrolling through TikTok a little bit and came across, I don't even know the words to use. I mean, to me personally, shocking videos. I'm sure to other people, to women, it'll be very disappointing, but probably not that shocking at all. I saw a video from USMC Angry Vet about OffJWagon, a very prominent creator on the left, guy who lives in Minnesota, and he's been on the ground in Minneapolis for the last several days as ICE is doing their thing, and several other creators had gone to Minneapolis as well. And apparently, this past weekend, from the allegations that I've seen and listened to and heard, OffJWagon, who I just learned this evening, his first name is Jordan. Jordan got really drunk and put his hands down the pants of four separate women over the course of one evening. He's married. Not that that should have any impact on this, but my very first thoughts were of those four women. I hope that they are okay physically. I can't fathom what they are experiencing emotionally right now. To have someone who they thought he was their friend. I'm very angry right now. And I mean, I've been mutuals with Jordan for quite some time. We never communicated with each other. I didn't know until tonight that his first name was Jordan. We've never had any interactions with each other, but I've enjoyed watching his videos over the last couple of years, as many people have. You know, he's got 800,000 or 900,000 followers on this app. And like I said, these allegations to me were shocking. You know, then I went through Matt's page and I saw a video from like 4 days ago where he was describing this in somewhat vague terms and not naming anyone, but was clearly giving Jordan an opportunity to publicly take some accountability for what he had done. That did not happen. And, you know, so I started doing what I do sometimes in these circumstances. I started looking up the law for the state of Minnesota. And if these allegations are proven in court, this was criminal sexual contact under the law. Whether or not they are proven in court, whether or not these four women decide to pursue prosecution, given the written statement that Jordan has put out on his TikTok page, kind of accepting responsibility. That statement is definitely an admission. That statement is definitely something that can be used against him in a court of law. And that tends to be sort of how I kind of view things like this, especially when it's something that's personally shocking to me and I start to dissociate a little bit. I just kind of retreat to the law. What happened here was criminal. What he did to these four women was criminal sexual contact under the law in Minnesota. And I don't care what state you are in this country, intoxication is never a defense. It just is not. You can't voluntarily put yourself into a state of mind like intoxication, commit a bunch of felonies, and then use that intoxication as a defense. That is not the way that works. So I dug into the laws a little bit. Minnesota has several statutes, first degree through fifth degree sexual assault and criminal sexual contact, and other misdemeanor statutes as well, covering rape, penetrative rape, groping, which from the descriptions that I have heard thus far, Jordan's actions would fall into this category of groping. And then they have some stuff about indecent exposure, but groping is a form of sexual assault in Minnesota defined as the intentional touching of a victim's intimate parts without explicit consent. That seems to be spot on as far as a description of what occurred, what Jordan did to these 4 separate women over the course of a single evening. Groping includes touching over clothes as well as touching the victim's intimate parts by coercion. The key part is without consent. And without consent is the part that seems to have been communicated very clearly in the videos that I've seen from other creators who know the people that are involved in this situation. I don't know any of the people involved in this circumstance personally. I've not interacted or communicated with any of them. And so there are important details as far as the law goes that I don't have right now. But he admitted to doing this. And that admission can be used against him in court. I don't know if these 4 women are going to pursue criminal or civil remedies for what happened, for what was done to them without their consent, but that is a criminal act. And how to phrase this? Prosecuting a single event with one witness in this type of case can be challenging. When you have 4 victims over the course of a single evening, all relaying similar experiences, that case becomes much easier to prosecute. And I would think a prosecutor would be much more willing to take that kind of a case to trial. In Minnesota, that type of criminal sexual conduct, criminal sexual contact, groping, is typically charged as criminal sexual conduct in the second degree, which can be punished anywhere between 7.5 to 24 years in prison and a fine of up to $35,000. Minnesota's statutes carry a mandatory minimum of 7.5 years in prison for this type of illegal criminal sexual activity. What the fuck, man? They thought he was their friend. They thought he was their friend until he got drunk. And I think it was either USMC Angry Vet in his video. I know it was said by multiple people in the comments on that video that drunk actions are actually sober thoughts. And my thoughts immediately after thinking about these 4 women, Jordan's married. I can't even fathom what his wife is going through right now. Any of these 5 women. Again, I hope they're okay. I hope they have strong support systems. And as I'm sitting here right now, personally, I hope they go see a prosecutor. But